My name is Daniel Godfrey, technical marketing engineer. I work with schools to deploy our software directly onto their systems. So this will be across, their entire campuses in some instances. So for campus devices, teachers' devices, student devices. We give them the tools to not only deploy the software but manage the licenses and give them training on how to use the software, how to teach it to their teachers and their faculty, and ways in which they can actually maximize their efforts using digital documents with Foxit PDF Editor. We also, provide trainings to schools so that they, get started on the right foot and know some advanced tools that not a lot of people actually know they have access to in their PDF editor. So that's kind of what I do with schools. So I get a lot of opportunity to talk to people about the features that are most, helpful to them in their day-to-day work, things that they want to change, things that they wish they had, and reasons why they are, happy that they switched to Foxit from Adobe. All right. So why are schools looking for Adobe alternatives? Schools and universities more and more are considering switching from Adobe Acrobat and Creative Cloud. Price changes, support issues, and complicated licensing has convinced a lot of IT leaders that a new solution is necessary. They have in a lot of ways dominated the PDF market, but the prices that they've been charging has really been making IT leaders convinced that some other option might be needed. Some of the main reasons we've talked to people about why they started looking for alternatives is low usage in the full Creative Cloud suite. So a lot of schools, try to buy the full Creative Cloud, thinking that their students are going to require the Photoshop, Illustrator, Dreamweaver, all these tools that Adobe has, when in reality a lot of them are not using these tools and are really just looking for a full robust PDF editor. And providing the full Creative Cloud suite is a waste of money for some schools. Again, of course, too expensive for campus-wide deployment. A lot of schools are looking to have a campus-wide option for all of their faculty and for their students, but the pricing right now for Adobe is very high for that, and some schools just find that it's just not worth it. This also forces a lot of their faculty and students to find their own options, which means either paying out of pocket for a very expensive alternative, or going online and finding free options. But this has its own drawbacks, including privacy and security for students. The finding a option for everyone to safely work with their digital documents is very important to campuses. They've also been struggling recently with complicated multi-year contracts. A lot of the savings that Adobe offers to universities and schools comes at the cost of having to sign on for quite large contracts, like 3-year contracts is pretty common to maximize the savings. This has turned away some IT leaders who don't necessarily want to commit to a contract for that long, or want to find an alternative that has a little more flexibility in their licensing. Restrictions on licensing has also made it difficult. Adobe has applied some new restrictions to how their software can be licensed, and where it can be used and how it can be used and who can use it. So sometimes this causes a little bit of headache for IT managers, and that effort should be used trying to find new software, trying to train your students and faculty on the software you have. But some of that effort's being used on managing licenses for Adobe. These are a lot of the reasons why they're looking for something new, and they start searching. And one of the big names in PDF editing is Foxit. We provide a robust solution for them that provides the tools that they expect to have in Adobe Acrobat. Okay, so why is Foxit an easy choice? So why, when they find Foxit, is it so clear that it's the right choice for them? There's a couple reasons. First off, we have an intuitive UI and unique features. So the layout of our software is very easy for new users to pick up and get started on. And we also actually provide document tools that Adobe doesn't have. We also have steep discounts for education and free student license options. Again, this is something that is, unique to Foxit. Our education discounts are very significant, and our options for free student licenses means that you can actually deploy across your whole entire campus for pennies on the dollar compared to Adobe Acrobat. Simple and flexible licensing models. We try to be as helpful in licensing as we can. We understand that schools have complex networks and infrastructures that they need to deploy their licenses to, and we try to give all the tools that a campus is going to need to cover all the members of their campus. So their faculty, their students, their administrative offices. We give licensing options for all of this. We also have free end user and admin training. So we not only will help your administrators, learn how to use our license management tools and our products as well, but we also have end user training. So if you have power users or teachers that are commonly using our PDF editor or our eSign solution, we actually give you custom agendas for training. So yeah, we definitely want to leave you on the right foot when you get started with our software, and we don't want to leave all of the training up to your own IT staff, who again are very busy and have a lot on their plate, and probably need a little bit of help when it comes to training. So intuitive UI for beginners and advanced users is definitely a big draw. We have a easy to use, easy to jump right into software that people are used to. One of those main reasons is that we actually have a Microsoft style ribbon bar. We had originally actually used licensed Microsoft ribbon elements for our software. So it has a very similar feel that people are used to when using Microsoft Word, which, the vast majority of students and teachers and faculty have used before. This is something that is kind of intuitive. It's also being used in a lot of other products like Google Documents. So you can kind of guarantee that the average document user will be able to pick up our product immediately and start using it, right out of the box, without too much complication or too much, too many questions to your IT. We also have great features like a quick use side panels that, have organization and note-taking tools built in. So it saves a couple steps, and it's really easy to navigate around and click and drag and do operations, a lot more simply than you will actually find in Adobe. Recently, Adobe has, very much try to simplify their Adobe Acrobat. One of the things that they've done is actually limit the number of tools that are immediately available out of the box. They require you to actually add new tools. Like what's being shown here is actually adding a form building tool. It's not immediately on your toolbar. You have to add it separately. This can be a little complicated for people who are new to Adobe or not very avid, general computer users who are, more used to the, Microsoft model where all the tools are immediately available. You just need to go look for them and find them. In this case, you have to, go to a specific tool section and add that tool to your toolbar before you can start using it. And actually, even once you add a tool like the prepare forms, the process for adding these form fields is much more complicated than you'll find in Foxit. It takes what is a two-step process in Foxit PDF Editor, which would be clicking on a form field and then adding it to your document, and turns it into a multiple-step process, including having to save your document, having to change a setting so it doesn't auto-detect form fields. So it's created actually a lot more complication than it really should in the name of simplification. So yeah, so a lot of users we've talked to have struggled when releasing this to larger audiences, just because they get a lot of questions about how to find a certain tool, how to use a certain tool, and it's partially because they are not set up immediately for use. So we've found a lot of IT leaders enjoy our more simplified, familiar document editing format, and the tools are a lot easier to find, right out of the box. It's also easy to access all your tools like batch processes. So Adobe again has in an attempt to simplify their menus, have actually created some more confusion. So in Foxit, as you can see in the top one, all of your tools for specific categories like protecting your documents are available through the top menu. So that includes things like batch operations on large batches of documents. These tools are immediately available, right out of the box. You don't have to add anything or anything like that, or go to any other processes. Where Adobe has actually done a couple of things that actually hide the tools that they have available. One of them is unnecessary menu nesting. They have put a lot of the tools into smaller menus off of their main toolbar. So this kind of hides them and makes it more difficult to find. Again, new users are more likely to immediately call into their IT departments to ask these questions rather than search around for them, because some of them can be difficult to find, especially things like batch operations. In Foxit, they are immediately available on our ribbon bar. But in Adobe, they've actually started hiding some of these behind actions that you have to customize, or their action wizard, which is another like kind of multi-step process that people don't often use. It's kind of a more advanced tool, even though batch encryption might be something that people do on a regular basis that they want access to immediately. So again, a lot of things in the name of simplicity is actually creating for a more complicated user interface and more questions for your IT department about how to actually access the tools that people expect. All right. Another great reason people are switching to Foxit is because we are creating tools for faculty and students that they aren't finding in Adobe. So we are actually, we are creating new tools that are based off of our user experiences that we gather from people we talk to, and from the people who contact us and have requirements for their PDF editors, and specifically in education, we actually push for new tools and new features that are going to help students study, or going to help administrators gather data and collect information. It's going to help faculty, learn or teach in classrooms, especially in online learning, things like that. So Fox is doing a lot of effort to create new features that Adobe does not have. Sometimes they're very simple features that you would expect, like two documents open on a single screen. So Foxit does do this right now, and Adobe actually doesn't have an option for this. And this is very common in education, where students might be studying multiple, documents at once. One being a textbook, the other one being their notes. So they could use tools like our pencil tool, where they can draw directly on their notes with digital ink pads and things like that. So this is a pretty standard tool that you might expect in your PDF editor, but right now it's actually only available in Foxit and not Adobe. And yeah, there are a lot of different usages for this in education. Teachers, grading assignments next to a rubric. They might need to be able to access both at the same time. And right now, you would have to do this on like entirely separate windows in your Adobe instance. But yeah, you can actually combine these tabs in Foxit and view them simultaneously and edit them simultaneously. And yeah, so this is something, it's a feature that you would see in your Adobe Acrobat, and it's not there. And there might be many reasons to that, but I think it's definitely because Foxit is a place where we're trying to move ahead in the PDF format. We don't focus on a lot of other software. We focus on PDF editors and making them better and making the user experience better. So yeah, simple tools like this, are available with Foxit. All right, link text boxes to reflow without crossing over. So this is something that a lot of users expect and want, because it is how a document editor works in things like Microsoft Word, where the text doesn't overlap because it's a single text element that reflows automatically. But obviously in PDF editors, for anyone who's ever tried to edit text in your PDF editor, it's not exactly how it works. So the elements can actually overlap on each other and spill over into other text areas. So we have a tool that allows you to actually link up different texts, so that you can instead of moving the text field down below into a text field below it, it could actually flow into the text field that you've actually linked to. So in this case, I'm showing right here. It's very helpful because you have text blocks separated by headers and footers. So it would naturally flow into the footer if you did not link up the texts. So when you link up the text, you actually can flow very more similar to your normal Microsoft Word type editor, where the text flows into the next document. Right now, Adobe actually doesn't have this feature available, so you kind of have to edit the text in a certain way that is a lot more manual. You have to click into the right box when it's going to go to the next line. But with this tool, you actually get much more of a normal document flow, and you don't have to worry as much about overspilling into your documents. This also saves you time, because one of the main reasons people are using PDF editors is when they convert from a Word document. But there might be a text issue that you notice that you want to change. You might want to add text, but you don't want to have to convert it back into a Word document, or go back to your Word document, change it, and then convert it back to a PDF. That's a lot of wasted time. This way, you can actually add the text that you need in the font that it's actually originally available in. So it saves a lot of time, not have to convert back and forth between your different formats. Instantly build tables of contents. So this is another very helpful tool. So especially for students doing reports or putting together, final presentations and assignments. They might have created bookmarks for their documents, and they want to create a table of contents for them. This is a two-click table of contents creator. It's very simple. It creates a full table of contents with linked bookmarks, so you can immediately go right to the right page that the bookmark was set at. So another very helpful tool in education. The table of contents are used in creating books, used in creating reports. So you're gonna find a lot of usage of this tool. And again, it's a feature that Adobe does not have out of the box. You would actually have to create a custom action in Adobe to do the same thing, or download a plugin. And again, these are things that more advanced users are going to use, are going to be able to do, not necessarily your average user. But again, with Foxit, it's a two-click process, and saves a lot of time in creating your documents. Yeah, another great one is organizing your highlights in separate files. So, a lot of students, this is especially used for students studying, but you can actually organize your comments and highlights into a separate text file or a separate Excel sheet. So you can, highlight text and then export it to review later. Or if you're collecting data from a specific document, you can actually, put it into an Excel sheet and do some data analysis, or, further extrapolation. Adobe can only actually export the highlights in the form of an FDF file, which is a file type for comments, annotations, and highlights in a PDF document. But it's not viewable in the same way that a normal text file might be, or an Excel sheet where you can actually just view the data. It would be obscured, and you wouldn't be able to actually view it. So it's another great tool that Foxit provides, that again is useful in a lot of contexts in education, especially for studying, especially for students. And we do very much believe that students need these tools, and it does help them. A lot of schools kind of only see PDF usages for converting, or some reviewing and things like that, but students are using PDFs for a lot of things. They're using it for studying. A lot of their books are going to be PDF books that they can write notes into, write comments on, and sometimes they're going to want to export those, so for studying later, or again just organizing those notes. So it's another example of just Foxit trying to create more helpful tools that Adobe doesn't have for their PDF editor. The other good one is actually a form builder assistant. It gives you suggestions on how to set up your document. So both Adobe and Foxit have a tool that automatically sets form fields for you. So if you just have a blank document with like form lines, kind of like you see here in this example, all you have to do is click the one button and it actually applies those fields for you in just a couple seconds. It's a great tool. But on top of that, Foxit actually also provides a design assistant. So if you want to have a little bit more control over, how those fields are being applied, it helps you walk through your document and gives you suggestions about what type of field should exist there, and where you should put it. So it's just another helpful tool. Document or form creation is actually very common in education. People are creating them for regular student information forms, but also for education and studying and a lot of different aspects. Looks like we have a question in the QA. Actually, I'm going to turn to that and see if we can answer that. ADA compliance is very important for my position. How is the accessibility portion? We currently use a plugin called Common Look. Our accessibility is actually very, very useful. We have a couple of tools for accessibility, including an accessibility checker that will look through your document and find issues with the accessibility options. So, this will go through, alternative text for images. It'll go through whether or not your document has been tagged and then auto tag it for you. It'll check for form fields and whether or not those have had form tags attached to them, which the tool actually I'm showing right here does automatically. Our accessibility tool is great. We have several schools right now that are using our accessibility tool to create and review documents for accessibility. It also provides an accessibility report for you to save later. It's a great tool for accessibility. And actually, I did forget to mention this, but everyone will get an opportunity to actually use our software. We're going to be providing 6 months activation codes to every attendee here today. So you'll get a chance to try out the ADA tool, our accessibility tool for yourself. We also again provide training. So if you're try it out and and struggle with it at all, you can actually contact me directly, and I can show you exactly how the tools work and some tricks that are very helpful for creating those documents, especially with accessibility, because those documents are pretty complicated to build. All right. Yeah. Thank you for that question. Yeah. If anyone else has another question here, I'd be happy to answer it if you just put in our Q&A section. Oh, we got a lot of chat going too. Yeah, thank you. All right, so let's go to the next slide here. Other useful tools that you'll find in Foxit PDF Editor, not Adobe. Export highlights, that's one we talked about. Search and highlight, so you can actually highlight all the occurrences of a search text. So this is very helpful for a couple situations. One being for school plays and things when you're trying to highlight your character name and things like that is one thing we actually had someone use. But they're just for general studying purposes, great tool. We also have an accounting calculator for your administrative offices. So it's built in directly into the PDF editor. So if you're pulling down raw data from PDF text files, you can actually immediately calculate them. Pretty helpful, save you a step. We also have support for 3D files, specifically the DWG file type is something that we provide that Adobe is not providing currently. Other things are great, like gradient objects. So we have specific objects types that Adobe doesn't support currently, as well as text to shape, which is converting your text objects to shaped objects. So it gives you some freedom in actually creating really unique looking text. Just a lot of features that you won't find in Adobe that our engineers are trying to develop more and more of. And I think one of the reasons why we do this is because we focus only on PDF editors. We focus on making PDF editor or your PDF editor experience better. We don't have a full suite of other tools that we're focusing on. We're focusing on the experience in digital documents and not anything else. All right, so another one of the big reasons, probably one of the biggest reasons people will start looking for an alternative is savings. The price for Acrobat right now is pretty steep, and it makes sense to look for something that's a little bit more reasonably priced. Especially, again, we're finding that the full Creative Cloud suite is not necessary in education. Many students are not utilizing the tools like Dreamweaver and Illustrator and Photoshop because that doesn't really apply to their study of fields or just their day-to-day work. So providing the full suite is a cost loss in a lot of ways, because most students are using, actually in a survey we did, 50% of students are using a PDF editor at least once a week, and 25% of students are using them at least once a month. So the usage is pretty high. But for Photoshop and again the other Adobe products, it's much lower. They actually most schools we talk to find maybe 10% of students use it on a regular basis, and the rest barely ever touch it. So spending that much on Creative Cloud Suite is definitely not worth it. When you're then go look for just purchasing Adobe Acrobat, you still find that the price is very high. So for even their basic model, $155 is a pretty steep cost. Foxit provides our pro version for $29.99 for education. So that's across the board for pro, business, or individual. Adobe actually has varying costs for those things. We also provide perpetual licenses at a much more reasonable price. Right now, Adobe is very much trying to get away from the perpetual licenses that they support, and right now the price of it is nearly $540, where it is starting at $50 for Foxit. This gives schools kind of more options with deploying the software, because sometimes having a perpetual license is very helpful for laboratories and things like that, where you might just install it onto the computer and let it be. You don't have to worry about login or anything like that. But the price right now for Adobe is pretty steep compared to where Fox is going. It looks like we have another question. I'm going to pull up the Q&A again. Actually, sorry, it's the same question. But pricing wise, you're going to save significantly with Foxit compared to Adobe. But obviously, the real savings comes with volume discounts. But even there, Foxit definitely has the advantage. So volume discounts is when schools are looking to purchase more than 5 licenses, and we start having price reductions because of that. Our volume discounts are pretty massive. Right now, for any schools that's purchasing over 1,000 licenses, you're actually looking to save about 60% on those per license costs. So that brings your subscription license down from the $29.95 or $29.99 of the a single license rate to $10. So you can actually cover large portions of your campus for a reasonable price. So large campuses and school systems can also deploy site licenses for even greater savings. So if you're trying to cover multiple campuses in a school system, you actually might want to consider a site license, which brings the price of the editor down significantly, and makes it a lot more easy to manage the licenses on your campus. And also, students can actually purchase Foxit with education discounts as well. So the individual license price for schools that don't want to actually provide the license for themselves, they can still provide significant savings to their students. And there are a lot of cases where students do require to have PDF editors. One of them actually is accessibility. We have talked to several schools that are requiring their students to, release their reports if they're going to be public facing with or in an accessible document. The students are going to be left to their own devices in a lot of ways. And again, they might, look for free alternatives, which, some might provide the tools that they need, but a lot are going to be insufficient in the tool set that they actually provide. Also, the free options online do come with some risks. They are, the free options normally have some way in which they recoup that money, and it's normally through selling information or selling data and things like that. So you really want to protect your students, safety, and offering them a low cost option for the things they need is definitely important. Also, we did a review recently of purchases at volume at public universities and schools, and found that when purchasing 500 more licenses of Adobe Acrobat, schools are paying about $50 per license. So while that is a significant drop from their $175 price tag, customers who would purchase Foxit PDF Editor would do so for only $15. So still only 1/3 the cost, but you're still getting all of the really robust advanced document tools that you would get in the Adobe Acrobat, but for much more significant, much less of a significant cost. So when you're purchasing at volume, this is a clear option that is going to save you a lot of money, allow you to buy other software that is also probably pretty expensive. So it gives you more options in your IT budget, and it doesn't you don't lose any of the tools that you're actually looking for. So it's really no brainer. We also expand coverage to your entire campus for free. For free for students with our 6x student license deal. So schools and universities often don't realize that students are going to need their PDF editor for day-to-day work. Editing, converting, organizing, this is all things students do on a regular basis. We've put out surveys to try to capture exactly how often the students are using these tools, and it is very often. It's again 25% or once a week they're using a PDF editor. So it's a tool that some schools don't necessarily realize are very important. So how our 6x deal works is that schools that purchase 500 or more licenses, or an equivalent of 50% of their staff, will qualify for this program and get provided 6x the number of purchase licenses for free for students. So a little example here would be a school with 200 staff purchase 100 licenses. If they participate in this deal, they'll actually receive 700 licenses from our fulfillment team. And these are the full education licenses, so that you get you access to our PDF editor desktop, our PDF editor online, our PDF editor mobile. So this is all you can provide for your students for free. Most of the time we see that this covers the vast majority of your campus. About a 6:1 ratio for faculty to students is pretty standard. So it allows you to get a option or a solution into your students' hands that is safe, is protected, secure, and it doesn't use their data for anything that they don't want to be used for. So this is a great option for schools who want to do a full campus deployment. Looks like we have one more question in the Q&A. I'm going to pull it up. Is the site license priced by FTE? Yes, I believe that it's normally priced by your FTE. So that is normally negotiated directly with our sales team too. So there is some wiggle room in the pricing. So I don't have the exact pricing for our site licenses right now. It does depend on your campus size. That is something we can actually set up really easy. If you wanted to have a discussion about full site licenses, we would bring in one of our sales staff along with myself probably, and we would go over your options for a full site license. But this is also this 6x student deal is also great for medium and small campuses who don't necessarily want to get into the full site license conversation, but want to provide want to have a lot of licenses on hand that they can distribute as needed, or attempt to distribute to their full campus. We actually have an even another great deal right now, which is actually a free PDF editor online. So our online platform is actually a full, robust PDF editor in its own right. There are certain tools that are left only for the desktop version, but about 95% of the tools that your students are going to be using in a day to day will be available online in our online platform. And this is an option that we have that is completely free for campuses. So if you wanted to, make sure again, your students have a safe, secure solution, this is something that schools can participate in, and it is completely free. There's no eventual purchase that you have to make or anything like that. It is completely free to join this program. Also, it's great for schools that are using Chromebooks because it runs perfectly on Chromebooks, tablets, phones, desktop, anything with a browser. You can actually access this PDF editor. It's great. Again, Chromebooks for your entire classroom, your whole campus, can have access to a PDF editor entirely for free as well. Again, to keep students safe, doesn't collect their data, doesn't sell any of that. It is just a free option that is just as secure as our desktop version. And our web services are actually SOC 2 Type 2 certified, as well as HECVAT certified, which is an EDUCAUSE security and privacy survey that we completed this year, actually. So yeah, a lot of great options for free campus deployments. We're trying our best to get our PDF editor in as many educators' hands, just to save them from having to find their own solutions or find sketchy solutions online. And we really do just want to expand access to our PDF editors because a lot of people don't realize that their day-to-day work very much requires converting, editing, organizing PDFs. Simple. Another great reason that we have is simple licensing options with our free admin console management portal. So we find that a lot of IT staff very much appreciate our simple licensing and our very robust admin console, which is our management portal. Looks like we have one more question. I'm actually going to pull this up right quick. If we purchase licenses for faculty and staff, may we install it in labs for free? So we have specific licenses for that for like shared devices or your perpetual devices. But if you're in the 6 times student license deal, you can actually deploy those licenses how you see fit. So if those licenses were provided and deployed across your labs, that's totally fine. The one issue is the type of license that you would have. So your perpetual license can be put on any desktop and it'll run automatically. But if you are signing up for like subscription licenses, then you would have to log in to actually access that license. So that would be one consideration. Can Foxit be installed in virtual labs? We actually also have very easy. We actually have for virtual environments we have a specific license type 2. It's called a FPM key, which is a key we've created for virtual environments that allows you to deploy the software with the license installed in it. So this also keeps you from, like, if you're spinning up or closing the virtual instances of these computers, when you restart the computer, it doesn't require you to put in the license again. It's already installed with the software. So that's actually really great for virtual environments if you're have virtual computers. Does perpetual license mean that you do not need to pay every month going forward? Yes, that is exactly what it means. A perpetual license is a license that you own outright. It is a one-time payment for that license. We do also, though, have an optional, like entirely optional it's called upgrade assurance. So if you want to actually get the newest upgraded version, other than the dot upgrade, so like right now we're on version 12. If you bought a perpetual license, you would get all of the upgrades in version 12. But when we go to version 13, if you have our upgrade assurance, which again is optional, and it's a 10% cost of the license. So it'd be about 20% cost of the license. So it'd be $10 if you bought the $49.99 perpetual license. That is an annual fee, so not monthly but annual. So you'd pay $10 for that, and it would give you access to actually the next version of the software. So our 13 version when that would come out. But that also gives you a couple other options as well. It would give you access to our mobile and online options. So obviously, when you buy outright buy a perpetual license, we can't really promise you that you'll have access to the mobile or online in perpetually. But if you have the upgrade assurance, you actually do get access to that as long as you have that upgrade assurance. Again, that's an entirely optional thing. If you just wanted to buy the license outright and own it, it's entirely yours. That's totally fine. But if you wanted to make sure you get the upgraded version when it comes out, we have an option for that as well. Let's go next one. So like I was talking to before, we have a subscription, perpetual, and shared device licenses for mixed environments. So obviously, a lot of schools have very complicated networks of devices, from computer labs and libraries to private offices and personal devices. We try to provide license types for all of these possibilities. Again, like virtual environments where you have you might be spinning up different instances of a virtual instance. We actually have a license specifically for that, so that you don't have to constantly re-add in the license key or anything like that. We have subscription licenses for individuals. So if you want to make sure that your students or faculty can bring their devices home or access their licenses on their personal devices at home, we have subscription licenses, and of course we have perpetual licenses like I just described. These are great for laboratories and libraries where you just want to license the instance and allow people to come and go and use it as they please. We provide all these, and actually one great thing that we have that I believe Adobe is also not doing is the perpetual licenses and our subscription licenses can be managed both through our admin console. So our admin console is our management tool that allows you to deploy our licenses. You can actually deploy both subscription and perpetual licenses together. So it definitely saves some time and effort. When licensing. I believe right now there is a requirement that if you're doing the perpetual licenses, that there's a specific portal in Adobe that you actually have to license those out through. I will be cautious to say that, but they may have made an update. But last time I checked, that is how it's done right now in Adobe. So it's a lot more easy with our admin console because you can do it all in one portal. And again, so another thing that we do that Adobe does not do is that if you have perpetual licenses, we have an option to buy the upgrade assurance and get our mobile and online access. So we, you still have access to all three platforms. Actually 4 if you include Mac and Windows. We have options for both. But you actually still get access to all of those if you include the upgrade assurance. That is something that's not offered by Adobe right now that you could still get with Foxit. And again, shared device licenses for instances where you want to do yearly subscription for a license that is going to be in a shared space like a library or a computer lab and things like that. So we try to be as flexible as we possibly can. Our discounts are also not connected to extended contracts like 3-year contracts, which I believe Adobe is offering right now. They have a lot of their volume discounts are contingent on signing up for a longer contract. Our contracts are 1-year subscription contracts, but you still get the same education savings. So looks like we got one more question. I'll pull that up. Is mobile and online access full featured? So the mobile is definitely the lightest weight version that we have. It is designed specifically for a mobile environment. So you're not going to have the exact full access to all the same tools that you're going to have on our desktop version, but our online version is actually very robust. There's only a couple of features that is left off of that. One of them is accessibility. And another is our full OCR. We actually provide a quick OCR on our online version. It still has OCR capabilities. It just doesn't have the ability to mark certain mistakes and correct in that way. But yeah, so it's still very full featured. So again, 95% of the tools that most students and faculty use are available in our online version. So you have editing capabilities, converting, commenting, organizing, security. All these features are still very much included in the online version. And yes, and again, that is free for any school to sign up for, so they can actually sign up for full campus-wide access to PDF Editor online. This is also actually very fast if you have a private domain for your school that you give out for like email addresses. All we have to do is open up access to your domain, and any user with an email address in that domain has instant access to our online version. So it's very low cost for setup, and it does give a lot of the tools that you're going to be looking for. Like I was talking before, we have effortless license management through our admin console, so you can actually sync your single sign-on or SAML or LDAP directories to automate your license delivery. You can set up groups inside of your single sign-on instance and have those groups be automatically provided licenses. So yeah, it saves a lot of time. You don't actually have to give out the licenses yourself. You just have to set up a group in your single sign-on, so Azure or anything like that, and it'll automatically provide licenses to the users in that group. So very helpful, saves a lot of time for your IT team. We also have user activation tracking, so you can actually see what users are activating the software and which ones aren't. You can actually claw back licenses from the ones that aren't and distribute them to other people, so you can really maximize your usage, and your on-campus activities tracked, so you know how many students are actually using it, and you can save money by only purchasing the number of licenses that you need. So it's a great tool, and we actually also provide training on license management, so we can show you interesting tools and tricks to better control the license deployment on your campus. All right, another great reason why people love us is our industry leading support and custom training rubrics that we provide campuses. So yeah, we actually have 24/7 live support. This is by our PDF technology experts who only focus on PDF technology. So unlike Adobe, you're not going to have support teams split between the large suite of tools that they provide. We focus only on PDF documents and PDF editor. So our numbers for response time and our general service is often considered higher than Adobe's, and especially, and it's definitely from the education customers that we talk to, that they've had difficulties getting through to Adobe, whereas us, we don't ever seem to have issues, and we get straight to them and get straight to the questions that they have. We also have compatibility with mobile device managers like Apple School Manager, Jamf, Intune, and we can help you deploy on these services. We have actually some specific builds directly made for these services that make deployment very, very easy. We have very high satisfaction ratings against all PDF editors. We actually did a report in 2022 with G2 that rates products and sellers based on reviews gathered from users' community, as well as data aggregated from online sources and social network. It actually found that we have a higher support rating than Adobe Acrobat, and as a general partner, they found doing business with us was actually better than doing business with Adobe. So yeah, so our customers and online chatter agree that we provide better support and just a better overall business experience than Adobe. And again, if any of you have tried to contact Adobe support, you might understand why that is. Also, free editor training. Again, this is something we provide schools. We will enter, or we will give you a agenda with a full set of tools that we're going to be over. You can tell us what tools you want us to talk about, and we can actually put that into our agenda and make sure we go over those tools in case you have some sort of tool that is used commonly on your campus. And you can include your students in this. You can include your faculty, your teachers. We will create custom trainings for all those different different scenarios for you. All right, and finally, I just wanted to give you a chance to hear it from one of our, very happy customers himself, to tell you why he chose Foxit and why he's been happy with it so far.
I've been the director here since 2020, so 2.5 years or so. I am responsible for the IT budget, most of the IT budget, personal laptops. We give a laptop to every freshman that comes. We also, supply all the faculty and staff with computers as well. So about 2,500 total computers on campus that we deal with because of classroom labs and things like that. Well, sure. I mean, we were using what everybody else uses, Adobe Acrobat, and Adobe Acrobat is just so expensive. It had priced itself out of our range, except for a few places on campus that just said we have to be able to create PDFs, we have to be able to edit PDFs, and so they would spend the money that it would take to get Adobe Acrobat. And they were the ones that used it. Since we've moved to Foxit, I have purchased enough licenses for about half the campus, because not everybody needs it, not everybody wants it. But this way, anybody that does need it, we can give a license to. So that's changed the way digital document creation has come about, because you can, for instance, with Word, you can save something as a PDF, but if you make a mistake, you've got to go back in to the Word document and then save it again as a PDF. So it really saves hundreds or thousands of hours a year just in editing, re-editing things that you've created. When people get used to something, they often don't want to switch. They want to use the same interface that they've always used. And I try to explain to them that Foxit works very similarly, in fact, better in some respects. So I've had several people come back and tell me that we like this better than we like Adobe. I believe it was just Google research. Oh, no, sorry, I'm wrong. I did my research after one of our, in fact, it was our president's secretary, the president of the college secretary, had come across it and started using it. And she just fell in love with it. And she said, she contacted me and said, you need to look into this. And so at that point, I started my research. I just realized it worked as well, if not better, than what we were using already. So I took it to my team, and we all tried the trial issue, moved it up to our CIO. He started using it, and there was just no question as to why would we spend 10 times as much for something that doesn't work any better than what Foxit was.
Yeah, so it's straight from an IT manager himself. It saves time, it saves money, and it's just it's kind of a no-brainer. It's why not save more and buy other interesting software. So you might be asking yourself, there we go. How can I switch? Very easy. Meet with our education team to discuss your campus needs. So we can actually set up a 30-minute conversation and we can go over a demo and kind of go through the software and see what integrations you might need, talk about pricing, and you can do that all directly with me. We're actually going to send out an email with a couple of pieces of information. One email will be for an activation code for 6 months free Foxit, give you a chance to try it out yourself. Another one will be with some information. We can set up that meeting with myself. Very easy. It's a Calendly link. You can just find a time that works best for you, and we can get started. We also set up an extended trial for PDF Editor for your power users, so we can actually do a campus-wide release if you really want to see, all of your main users, see if they like the software, and see if it works with their current documents that they use, and really get a chance to use it themselves. So we're pretty confident that that once they get their hands on it, they're going to love it. And yeah, you can keep joining us for our webinar series. We're going to be sending out, notices every once in a while about new features that we're going to go over, and specifically how they help education, how they help our education users. So we have our email available right here. But we also are going to be, again, send out some emails to everyone directly with some follow-up information about how you can sign up for Foxit meeting. And I think we got one more question. Is all the information contained in the admin console stored on servers within the United States? Yes. Are you TX-RAMP and FedRAMP? Yeah, I believe you are FedRAMP certified. I'm going to check on the TX-RAMP. I'm certain we're FedRAMP certified though. But yes, all of the information on the admin consoles is saved in US servers. That is going to be either our East Coast Amazon server, or we have a backup West Coast Amazon server as well. So yeah, your information is entirely kept in servers within the United States. Never ever would they leave. We have we're SOC Type 2 certified. We also are HECVAT certified, so we can provide information to schools who requested for either of those surveys. But yeah, thank you again all for your time and your questions. And again, we'll be sending out some follow-up information with some activation codes for our software. And yeah, hopefully if you have any more questions, we can set up a meeting. So yeah, thank you again. I appreciate you joining us.